Say subscribe.
Subscribe.
Thank you. This is the man who wrote the Star Trek episode, just climbing up because he makes his own rules right here. The table is just too crowded, and he needed to go. George Clayton Johnson escaping the booth. He did a good job, right? Okay, now we're going to have to slide over this chair. Hey, George. I'm so excited. We actually watched a couple of your Twilight Zone episodes last night.
Well, it's great people have a job, and that's wonderful.
But when you did have a job, did you have what we typically call writer's block? And if so, what do you think that really meant?
I don't know, it's a peculiar form of constipation.
There's no Metamucil for it.
Yeah, but no, I've never had it. But
Neither have I.
Every time I set out to write something, I get very tense about it. Because it's immortal, whatever it is. When you do it badly,
Especially when you do it.
when you do it badly, people will notice. So I've always tried to be as skillful as I could.
I don't want to end up on Rotten Tomatoes. You did do the classics. I think, is there a special moment that you can recall? Something, because this actually goes around the world. And this is an opportunity for my fans to hear something that maybe they wouldn't hear on regular TV.
I wrote a show for the Twilight Zone called Nothing in the Dark.
Nothing in the dark.
There's a lady in it named Gladys Cooper.
Never mind Gladys Cooper. Robert Redford's in it. Okay, but I don't want... Spoiler alert. Okay, go on.
And meeting Redford when I met Gladys. But later I went to New York, and he was in a play with Fonda. Jane. And
Ooh, that Jane. I forgive you.
I got a chance to get to know Robert Redford quite well. I consider him a very dear friend. But Gladys Cooper is one of the grand ladies of stage and film, and to have her doing one of my television films.
Well, she was amazing. She was a woman who I would say had a hard time letting go. And Robert Redford was there to say, it's okay, baby. You know, you were very spiritual at a time when spiritual wasn't really a word being used except for like in India.
Yeah, that's true. But for me, you know, it's a lady afraid to die. I'm afraid to die. I don't want to die. That seems like a dumb idea.
It's so dumb when you can kick the can. We're just inside in a restaurant, and you were in the middle of a very buried booth, and you just wanted to get out, so you climbed over the back of the booth.
Yeah.
So I think you're kicking that can, aren't you? You're staying young.
Yeah, exactly. Nice thing about making a living without having a job is that you can stay young. Because I think having a job ages you.
So do children. Well, I just thought I'd throw that out. But you're, as a man, though, I think it's hard to stay a child, and you wrote about that. You did important work on the importance of fun and play.
I must tell you, I'm as young now as I've ever been. I still feel like I'm a beginner. Every time I go to a gathering, I always feel like an eagerness. Children have that.
You know, we actually watched the moon rise with Buzz Aldrin on Valentine's Day this year, and he was worried that the moon rise was going to be blocked by the big buildings. And when he saw that it wasn't, that the moon was just between the buildings, he practically jumped up and down with joy.
I would love to be Buzz Aldrin.
I can make that happen.
I'd love to see the moon, you know, up close, because it's a mysterious object. It's in the sky, it's lonely. It's white, it's beautiful.
And you never know where it's going to be. Every night it sets at a different time. It's bigger, it's smaller. It's always a surprise.
And yet it's timeless. It's been there forever, as far as I know.
Kind of like us. Well, thank you so much, George. You too.
Thank you.
Subscribe to the channel. Would you tell them to subscribe?
Subscribe. subscribe to it. That helps you start.
Whatever the hell I'm about, follow me. I'm there. I'm Hanala. This is George Clayton Johnson. Thank you so much. Magic hands. Attach your magic brain.